Right. 7-string players. Are you still fighting with muddy low riffs and stiff high strings? What if the solution for incredible clarity and comfortable playability wasn't some overpriced boutique model? This is the Cort KX507 MS Multiscale. And it might just be the most game-changing upgrade that you've been waiting for. Let's have a look then. So when the Cort KX507 MS Pale Moon first arrived, it was in a standard cardboard box. When I opened that up, I was really pleased to find this inside. A rather nice, fancy Cort branded zip-up gig bag. It felt nice and robust, like it would keep the guitar properly safe. I really like guitar cases with backpack straps. I prefer carrying them that way than carrying them around by hand. And it has a decent sized front pocket too. It was all very practical. I also always love this addition in cases. A nice little Velcro strap to keep the neck from moving around, because the last thing you want when a guitar is in its case is for it to get bashed around and get damaged. Opening up the gig bag itself, take the guitar out. It's got one of those standard slip sleeves, and then when you remove it from its slip sleeve, that's when you get the full impact. My eyes went straight to that incredible Pale Moon ebony top. The figuring on this was just something else. It really stands out. It's absolutely stunning. Then we've always got to flip it over and have a quick look at the back. Looks super neat and tidy, but honestly, the first proper look at the Pale Moon front was the real showstopper. It immediately gives off a high-end, this is special kind of vibe before I even got into examining all the finer details of the build. Alright, it's out of the box now, and straight away, even before we get the magnifying glass out, you can see what Cort were aiming for here. Right, so checking over the KX507 MS Pale Moon as it arrived. First things first, that satisfying peel off the pickup plastic. These Fishmans have push-pull pots, one for different voicings, the other for coil splitting. Loads of tones there. The bridge looked solid. Action wasn't quite for me out of the box, but that's always a personal tweak I make anyway. Quick spin to show you the overall guitar. That Pale Moon ebony top, the headstock looking absolutely spot on. Fret edges down the neck felt nice and smooth, no real snags, which was great to feel straight away. Around the back, you've got easy access to that battery cavity for the Fishmans, and you can see that sturdy bolt-on neck construction. So overall, the build felt sound. Guitar felt great and surprisingly light in the hands. There are no major issues on arrival. Tuning pegs felt sturdy. It's a really good starting point. So the build quality is definitely impressive for the price. But that is only half the story, isn't it? I mean, it looks the part, and it feels incredibly well put together, but how does the Cort multi-scale 7-string guitar actually sound? This is where things get really interesting. So the clean tone. I was genuinely impressed with the clarity here. Sometimes active pickups can be a bit sterile when clean, but these Fishmans delivered really well. What I particularly liked was using the push-pull pots. Engaging the coil split via the tone knob gave me those brighter, almost single coil-like sounds, which were lovely for things like arpeggios or just clean lines. Then, switching between voice 1 and 2 on the volume knob offered different characters even in full humbucker mode. For cleans on a modern metal machine, the versatility was fantastic. Now for some lead playing. What stood out to me was the note definition and the sustain. Even with gain applied, each note felt clear and articulate. With lead work, I always prefer a neck pickup, and with Fishmans, I always prefer the active voicing, but it's nice to have both. Those stainless steel frets really helped here too. Bends felt super smooth under the fingers, as you can probably tell. The guitar really sang, and it wasn't difficult to get expressive with some vibrato. It felt really responsive for lead playing. And now for the ultimate test. I dropped the tuning way down, similar to what bands like Architects use for tracks like Early Grave. Honestly, I was now trying to push the limits here for the 7-string. What absolutely blew me away was how well this guitar handled it. That 27-inch scale length on the lower string combined with these Fishman Fluence pickups just worked wonders. I was genuinely expecting more mud at this pitch, but the clarity and definition, especially on those really low riffs, was exceptional. It takes a special kind of guitar to maintain that kind of definition when you're tuning that low, and this Cort really held its own remarkably well. This is for anyone wanting to experiment with those ultra-low modern metal tunings, and I personally was seriously impressed with its performance here. Alright, so now you've heard it, let's talk a bit more about how this Cort guitar plays. Alright, so after checking out the build, it was time to really dig into how this Cort KX507 MS Pale Moon actually plays, especially for the kind of stuff I do. B standard, drop A, deathcore. And honestly, from the moment I strapped it on and started playing, it just felt right. Now, the absolute standout for me has to be that multi-scale design. You know, I was expecting a bit of a learning curve, but Cort has really nailed the ergonomics here, especially with that neutral fret around the 8th position. For me, it just clicked. It genuinely has this way of making it feel like I'm playing a really well set up 6-string that's just tuned down super low. The tension on those low strings for me wasn't great in drop A, but that's just a minor issue, I guess. I can always take it off and put on a thicker one. But the higher strings still feel comfortable and they're not overly stiff. Another massive thing for me is how light this guitar is. It doesn't weigh you down at all, which is brilliant for longer sessions, whether you're practicing or playing live standing up. There's no shoulder ache setting in, and it's not just the weight. The overall ergonomics mean it sits really comfortably, whether I'm standing or sitting. I felt absolutely fine playing anywhere on the fretboard. There were no awkward stretches or uncomfortable spots. The guitar feels incredibly smooth and fast, and I think that's because of the D-shaped neck combined with the Mikasa ebony fretboard and those stainless steel jumbo frets, which I am accustomed to. Whether it's complex riffing or trying out some lead lines, my hand just glided across the fretboard. The stainless steel frets in particular make bends feel effortless and should last forever, which is a huge plus. And while we'll talk more about sound later, I have to say, just from a playability perspective, knowing those Fishman Fluence pickups are responding to every nuance and delivering a great, clear tone really adds to the playing experience. It makes me just want to keep playing all day. So for playing low-tuned deathcore, this KX507 MS Pale Moon just nails it on the playability front. The multi-scale makes all the difference for those low tunings, the lightness keeps it comfortable, and the neck is just a dream to play. It doesn't fight you, it actually works with you. So, what's the final word on this little beauty of a 7-string? Honestly, I'm genuinely chuffed with this guitar. I mean, considering where it sits price-wise, the overall experience, and the quality of the guitar overall, it's pretty remarkable. Now, what really stood out for me was, first of all, it was incredibly comfortable. It's light, it's not super heavy, and I can sit here and play guitar for extended periods of time. I don't get cramp in my hand, and that twinge of carpal tunnel doesn't show up at all. And then for me, the absolute icing on the cake are these pickups. I mean, it comes stock with Fishman pickups. You pretty much can just plug in and play, and it's ready to go. It's incredibly versatile. Another tiny little thing that I really like, that I'm a bit weird and not many people would like this, the tiny little truss rod access wheel down by the neck pickup. I mean, having access here is just so much easier, and if I had it my own way, all guitars in the world would have it there instead of up there, because that's incredibly impractical. I actually only have two things that I want to say that are kind of drawbacks, I guess. First one, I don't think the strings that came with it are thick enough to play B standard or drop A. I would replace those lower strings with some thicker gauges, and that's only because I love to have a bit of resistance because I play hard and fast, and at the moment it feels a bit like floppy spaghetti. And in the second one, the multi-scale fretboard. Getting used to the multi-scale neck and fretboard was an adjustment, let's be honest, but don't let that put you off, because once I played with it for a couple of hours, I completely forgot that it was there, and I really now wish all my other 7 strings had it as well. So basically, putting that time into adjusting to a multi-scale was totally worth it. So, is this the ultimate upgrade for 7-string guitar players? Ultimate is a strong claim, but this Cort guitar would be my first choice. It punches so far above its price point, it's not even funny. The combination of comfort, especially for prolonged playing, the killer versatile tones, and that multi-scale design really make this guitar stand out. If you're seriously looking to step up your 7-string game, or if you're curious about entering the world of multi-scale 7 strings, and you want a guitar that basically delivers on all fronts, you absolutely need to give this guitar a proper look. It's a superb bit of kit, and for me, it's been a bit of an eye-opener. So what do you lot think about multi-scales? Have you ever played one? Have you got one? Let me know down in the comments below. Let's start a discussion. And if you want to find out more about this absolute stunner of a guitar, click the link in the description below.